What's up, y'all? It's your boy Niner Faithful. How's everybody doing? Hope everyone is having a legendary week. So y'all know me. If you listen to the show, I don't really like to get into a lot of rumors, but there's been a lot of rumors that I think might be detrimental to the development of Trey Lance, or some things that we found out at least that might be detrimental to the future of Trey Lance that I thought would be foolish not to get into. But before we get started with all that today, we of course got to remind everybody to listen to the end of the show to get a special coupon code to save 10% off of For the Faithful by the Faithful Season 2 apparel, exclusively available at NinerFaithfulRadio.com/shop. Go ahead and help out Niner Faithful Radio by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link and save 10%. All you have to do is click on the link in the description of the video or podcast. Go to cgiant.com, use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe to see everywhere you can find the show. And of course, follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio, and Niner Faithful R on Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, faithful of all ages, let's get the show cracking.
You are now listening to Niner Faithful Radio, the show for the faithful, by the faithful.
All right, maybe we should make it a little longer than 30 seconds because, man, that 30 seconds seems to fly by. I don't know about y'all. But anyway, so obviously news has came out that former Niner quarterback coach Rich Scangarello basically didn't want Trey Lance. And it's starting to see that, or seem at least, that he really didn't want Trey Lance, and ultimately that's why he got fired. And, there are a lot of people out there that are saying that, it damaged Trey, and I don't think 1 year is going to damage a player. I don't think all of a sudden he's going to become a bust because his rookie year he didn't have a quarterback coach that really wanted him. And good on for the Niners to figure that out and get him out of there if he indeed didn't want to work with Trey Lance and get somebody who does. I don't think the Niners are wrong for that. So ultimately, my thing about it is, if we are to believe what has been, as far as I can tell, told to us, is it was Trey Lance from the beginning, and the Niners had to be convinced to take somebody else. Then why would you hire Rich Scangarello if you knew he didn't want to work with Trey Lance? I think that when you brought him back, that would be one of the main questions that you asked. Now, I don't think that was the case at all. Honestly, I think, now I've heard Matthew Stafford, I've heard, Deshaun Watson. Ultimately, I think it was one of those two quarterbacks that the Niners wanted. Now, ultimately, no, Matthew Stafford went to the Yams. And then, of course, the Deshaun Watson lawsuits came out. And, the rest is history, as they say. So, ultimately, I think those are really, I don't want to say panic, but yeah, I think that's why we went to essentially the way of the draft. Now, Grant Cohn brought up a great point on one of his shows. I don't remember exactly which show it was, But the fact that the trade happened 10 days after the Lance or after the Deshaun Watson information came out, I don't think is coincidence. I really don't. And also, I think essentially what they did is just send the trade that they were going to send to Houston for Deshaun Watson. So, say what you want, whether that's a good thing, bad thing. The Niners have hurt Trey Lance, or I mean, not hurt Trey Lance, but the Niners did wrong and should have traded for one of the veteran quarterbacks, or they should have gone with a rookie from the get-go. I just think that's what the story is. So what is now another story that I heard that's Trey Lance related is that the Niners are continuously underwhelmed by Trey Lance. And there was another story that was also shared recently that the Niners are scared to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo because of the inconsistencies with Trey Lance or underwhelming performance of Trey Lance. I find that fishy. I find that fishy because then why did you make the trade to 3? I mean, yeah, you listen to what Jed York said. And there was a lot of talk about, we could even wait 2 years until we start him. I don't think that's going to happen. Now, yes, I am on record as saying the best thing for the 2021 San Francisco 49ers was to start Jimmy Garoppolo. The best thing for the 2022 San Francisco 49ers was to start Trey Lance last year. I don't ultimately, in hindsight, could you say the Niners made the wrong decision? I mean, sure. If you're going to say that since we didn't win the Super Bowl, we might as well have not made the playoffs. But I don't think so, because I think that last year's experience is something that players are going to be able to pull on for the rest of their careers. I think Kyle Shanahan got a lot of belief from his players last year. Locker room became a lot closer. There was a lot of things that I think are going to pay dividends going forward because of the way the last season turned out. So I think that it wasn't a mistake, but it definitely would have been the best thing. And fine, you want to make an argument that we would have ended up 10-7 anyway and would have made the playoffs and whatever would have happened, week if we would have started Trey Lance from week 1. But would I be super surprised if it came out that the Niners were underwhelmed last year from Trey Lance? No, because I think ultimately that's why he didn't win the job. Do I think that holds weight into this year? No. And I would circle OTAs. To me, ultimately, I think Jimmy's going to be cut. I don't think Jimmy will be traded. But what's going to make it a lot crystal clearer and a lot easier for the Niners to do is if Trey Lance comes in OTAs and grabs the reign, this team by the cojones and says, this is my football team now. Or at least shows that he could be just as good as Jimmy Garoppolo with the potential to make some wild throws and some wild plays. I'll take that right now. If you can tell me that's what Trey Lance is in OTAs, He's just as good as Jimmy, and then has the potential to, the 81-yard touchdown to Sherfield, the Debo touchdown against Houston. To give you those type of plays, plus just as good as a play away from as Jimmy, I would take that in a heartbeat right now. I would feel way secure about the Niners prospects for the 2022 season if you could tell me that's what Trey Lance is. Because I don't need spectacular plays a million times. I just need one or two a game. And I think those one or two splash plays a game are enough to get us over the hump. But I think people have this fantasy that it's going to be beautiful. I think it's going to look a lot like the Niners offense we've seen. I think there'll be moments that it stalls out. I think Trey Lance is going to make some ugly throws. There are going to be definitely some ugly picks in there. But I think those wow plays, whether it's running, which I don't think many will come from running. I think people who think he's going to be capping, have a bunch of rushing touchdowns or anything like that, I think you're tripping. Ultimately, what I think, especially even if that was Kyle Shanahan's thought, him getting, that knee sprain that he got last year probably scared him off from using him like that. Because let's be real, that first game in Arizona, he's basically used as a running back that could throw the ball. So, but if you can tell me that he can, those wow plays, I think are going to be enough to push us over the hump. Or at least give you the belief it can happen. At least give you the belief that it's like touchdown pass right here. That wasn't necessarily always the case with Jimmy. I mean, you knew there was the potential, but because obviously there were some, maybe not 80 yards, but it was. I think it's going to be less effort. For a perfect example, I think the perfect example comes to the Emmanuel Sanders touchdown. Well, let's be real. Emmanuel in New Orleans, Emmanuel Sanders had to stop for that pass. And if it wasn't a poor tackling job by the DB or safety, I know it was a DB, so I don't know if it was a corner or safety. Emmanuel Sanders gets caught, but he was able to break away the tackle, stay on his feet, and got up and ultimately scored the touchdown. That it goes down as a 75-yard touchdown. I don't think it's going to be like that with Trey Lance. I think it's going to be he hits Emmanuel Sanders in stride, and not he hits Emmanuel Sanders, but if Trey was our quarterback at that time, he hits him maybe not in stride, but enough where he didn't have to. I mean, you look at the third and 16, the second one against the Yams in that same season, a few weeks later, matter of fact. That should have been a touchdown. I remember watching that play. That play, I was sitting next to Mama Debbie. By the way, happy Mother's Day to all the mamas out there. I know it's past, but still thought I'd give you all a happy Mother's Day shout out. But I remember just looking at Mama Debbie and saying, "Oh, this is touchdown." Emmanuel Sanders was wide the hell open. That should have been an easy touchdown. Jimmy underthrew it. Emmanuel's, of course, he did a great job as a receiver and did what you're taught: go to the ball, make the adjustment, make sure you secure the catch. Because, we didn't need a touchdown to win the game. Hey, let me catch this pass, get us in field goal range, and kick the game winner, and let's go home. Put it into the foot of number 9, who was money that year. So, I think I'm not blaming Emmanuel Sanders for that. But I think Trey at least has an arm strength to get it up there where he's not going to underthrow it. He might even overthrow it, maybe. But so I'm really curious to see how this OTAs works out. Why don't we go ahead and take a Twitch commercial break? I'm going to go ahead and go over our schedule for the next couple of weeks, show y'all my new Niner stuff, maybe, and wrap things up. Okay, so for those who are on YouTube, Facebook, or listening to this as a podcast, you can see it now. But the people on Twitch, I'll just have to tell about later. Matter of fact, do we have anybody watching on Twitch? We have one watching on YouTube. If you see, the Faithful Then, Faithful Now flag has been added. There we go. Distraction. The Faithful Then, Faithful Now flag has been added. We moved the pendant. But the cool thing about that flag is it's signed by John Taylor. So I had him sign at the Faithful Then because obviously Super Bowl 23 is when I became a faithful. So it's really dope to have John Taylor have signed that. And then obviously we still have the 49ers faithful flag. Not the faithful flag, but a flag that says 49ers faithful. And then over this shoulder, we have my last poster. Just a minor jumping out of a poster. And there's actually two over there. I got the Home of the Faithful flag that they gave away 2019 or 2019 or 2018. And then also I got the banner that they gave away for the game against the Vikings. My girl's mom went to that game. So, and she got me that and the 75-year cup. And there's a few things. I got a candle that I'm going to be lighting during the games this year. So how much time we got left on the Twitch commercial? Minute 33. Oh, let me see. We got one viewer. Still one viewer on YouTube. I think I know who it is. What's up, Super Duper Moderator Kim? If that's you, put something in the comment. So I think I know who that is. But let's see. We got how much longer? Minute and 10 seconds. So I'm really excited to see this OTAs with Trey Lance, this rookie mini camp as well. I'm sorry. I think the thing about mini camps is everybody always says, "Oh, you can't see anything." I think you can see who doesn't belong. And so if it's like Drake Jackson is struggling, and you're like, man, he's out here to get some undrafted free agents and some, later round draft picks, and he's out here struggling, that's not a very good sign. I actually expect him to jump off the page. If he's not the leading story coming out of rookie minicamp, I think that's a red flag. Not that he's a bust, but a little bit concerning. Like, you should dominate. Look like you belong. Look like you can fit in the role, which Jason and I have discussed for him, which is basically Aldon Smith his rookie year, just a nickel situational pass rusher. Money downs, he's essentially going to replace Dee Ford. Money downs, I expect it to be Nick Bosa and Drake Jackson screaming off the edge. I'm actually curious who they have on rundown. Samson Ebekom's a great run tackle. Run defender. I meant to say run, meaning run tackles, but a run defender. Kerry Hyder, I don't think is just gonna. He's not gonna walk in and get the starting job back, but I see him playing a significant role. So, okay, so we're back from Twitch. Just real quick for my Twitch people that are watching, John Taylor. Yeah, okay. John Taylor, autograph Faithful Then, Faithful Now flag. And my little minor jump into a poster. So that wall is pretty full. I don't imagine it getting much fuller. Maybe if I tip my camera, maybe. But rearrange the room. But I don't think Bubby's gonna want to do that. I'm not gonna want to move that heavy bed. Y'all don't know how heavy that bed is. Do we have the latest Niner news? Any late Niner news? Ultimately, we don't. And it seems like things have cooled down and are starting to be on the mend with the Niners and Debo. Ultimately, what I expected. I I think he might have overplayed his hands and thought that there was a team out there willing to give up the King's ransom that the Niners were going to want. And Debo found out quickly that there wasn't. And it may very well have been you know what? And I think it was ultimately a good thing because the Niners can go to Debo and say, hey, look, see, Debo, no other team wants you and loves you as much as we do. I think ultimately that's a real heavy pushing point. But all right, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this week's show. But we will be going next week will be rookie minicamp. We'll go over that. But Thursday, we are going to be live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch for the schedule release. Jason will be joining me. We'll be going live at 5 p.m. here on the West Coast. Can't wait to see everybody then. But before we get out of here today, we, of course, want to tell everybody help out Niner Faithful Radio by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link and save 10%. All you have to do is click on the link in the description of the podcast or video. Go to SeatGiant.com, use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Go to NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe to see everywhere you can subscribe to the show. And follow us on social media at Niner Faithful Radio on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr. And at Niner Faithful R on Twitter. And lastly, sorry about that, y'all. And lastly, thanks for tuning in to the end of the show. As promised, this week's discount code for 10% off of For the Faithful, by the Faithful Season 2 apparel is Season 2. 10% excludes any on-sale items and cannot be used with any coupon code. Sale expires August 30th, 2022 at midnight. Thank y'all for tuning in this week. We shall see y'all Thursday, same faithful time, same faithful channel. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners.
You are now listening to Niner Faithful Radio, the show for the faithful, by the faithful.
See ya.